Hi, welcome. I'm Reverend Dr. Brent Hawks, the founder and executive director of Rainbow Faith and Freedom, and I was the senior pastor at the Metropolitan Community Church of Toronto for 40 years before I retired. So today we're going to do Homosexuality and the Bible, Part 2. What is the Bible? In Part 1, I talked about the Bible being a history book and not a rule book. As such, the stories of our ancient ancestors have a lot to teach us, particularly if we view the Bible as metaphor. For example, the story about Jesus walking on water. If you take it literally, you're left with, wasn't Jesus great? Look what he did. But if you take it metaphorically, the story about Jesus walking on water means overcoming fears. When he encouraged the disciples to get out of the boat and walk on water, it's about getting out and taking risks and overcoming their fears. And when Peter got out and started walking on the water and started to sink because of the wind, that sometimes our fears will sink us. But if we reach out for help, like he did, and Jesus lifted him up, we'll be okay. When we read the Bible as metaphor, it really opens up a lot of teachings for us and really becomes alive for us. So the Bible is a collection of 66 books. It didn't drop down from heaven as one book written by God. And we talk about the Bible being inspired by God, but not dictated by God. So human error in the writing and the recording of the events is certainly possible. You know, there's a quote, I'm not sure where it came from, that said, a grade 3 knowledge of the Bible can be a dangerous thing. The Emperor Constantine wanted to unify the empire. He was the emperor from 306 to 337. And in order to unify the empire, he wanted one religion, and he chose Christianity, and one church structure, and one set of sacred books, because all of these things were contentious and causing a lot of division in the empire. And just to give you one example of how this all came about, there were many gospels floating around. But St. Jerome said that because we have only 4 elements, we only need 4 gospels. And that's why we have 4, and the rest were not included. And so the emperor called a conference of church leaders and politicians to decide on which books would be deemed as the core sacred books. And by then, there were many, many books floating around. So they met, they debated, they voted, and the ones that got enough votes got in the Bible, and the ones that didn't were rejected. Then the emperor ordered that all of the other books that weren't included were to be destroyed. So there'd be no longer this debate. But some survived. For instance, the Gospel of Mary, a gospel written by a woman, survived. The Gospel of Thomas survived. And that's very interesting because the Gospel of John just apparently got in, and the Gospel of Thomas just got excluded, and they are very different from each other. The Gospel of Thomas talks about Jesus pointing to God as the important figure, where the Gospel of John says that Jesus is the superhero, the one that we should pay attention to. The Gospel of John says that God is way out there. The Gospel of Thomas says that God is among us and within us. So, after all the books were ordered to be destroyed, we got the Bible as we know it today. A collection of books decided upon really for political reasons. It's wonderful to have them, but let's be very careful how we use them. In a couple of weeks, we'll take the next step in our conversation about homosexuality in the Bible. If you found this video helpful, please click on like and share on your social media, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel for future videos. Feel free to post a comment with feedback and suggested topics for future videos. My organization, Rainbow Faith and Freedom, is focused on confronting religious-based discrimination against the LGBTI communities around the world by changing hearts and minds. If you would like to learn more about Rainbow Faith and Freedom or make a donation to this important initiative, please go to the website listed below this video. And if you'd like to support this video project, you can click on a link there too. Thank you.